This used to be a broken DVD drive. Now it's a working PC. And yeah, I know that sounds fake, but I built it for just $50, and it doesn't even use a normal power supply. So the question is, how is this even possible? You've probably seen videos like this before. Crazy ideas that get millions of views, but half the time, you're not even sure if they're real. That's exactly what I thought too. So instead of just watching, I decided to build one myself, make it real, make it usable, and push it far enough to see if it can actually run games. So today, we're finding out if this is genius or just another illusion. First, I need to find an old broken DVD drive. These things are everywhere in old PCs, basically forgotten at this point. And luckily, digging through my pile of old hardware, I actually found one. It's filthy, like seriously disgusting. But I don't care about the condition of the outside. I'm only here for the drive itself. So I pull it out of the case, and yeah, it's covered in dust inside too. No surprise there. Alright, step 1. Clean everything. Get rid of all that dirt, all that buildup. If I'm going to turn this into something new, it has to start clean. Once that's done, there's one important thing left. Does it still work? And here's the funny part. I was actually hoping it was dead, because if it still works, it almost feels wrong to tear it apart. So I plug it in, test it, and oh my god, it still works. Smoothly, after all these years. That's actually kind of impressive. But let's be real, nobody really uses DVD drives anymore. They've basically become obsolete. You can find them for almost nothing on the used market. So yeah, even though it still works, I'm going to turn it into something way more useful, a PC. First, I need to strip everything out of this DVD drive. Luckily, it's pretty easy. Everything is built as one compact unit. Just remove the front panel and the whole thing comes apart. Now comes the tricky part, choosing the right motherboard. There's no way I can use something like Mini ITX or even smaller variants. The height alone already exceeds the limits of this DVD drive. And my goal here isn't just a small PC, I want a fully independent mini system, something that doesn't rely on a traditional desktop power supply. So yeah, all standard PC motherboards are out. At this point, I had to rethink everything, and then I remembered I already have something perfect for this. This single-board computer, I actually bought it back when I was still in school. Something so small, it's basically the size of a credit card. I don't even remember when I bought it. It's been sitting around for years, you can tell. The metal parts are already showing signs of rust. But design-wise, it's incredible. Despite its tiny size, it has everything built in. CPU, GPU, RAM, USB ports, Ethernet, HDMI output, even Wi-Fi and Bluetooth. Literally has everything it needs to function like a normal PC. And the one I have here is the Raspberry Pi 3 Model B+. The CPU name is way too long to say out loud, so I'll just throw it on screen. But it runs at 1.4 gigahertz. Yeah, that sounds low, but there's a reason for that. Power efficiency. This thing runs on just 5 volts / 2.5 amps through micro USB or GPIO. That's roughly 12 watts of power. Think about that for a second. You could literally power this entire PC with something as small as a power bank. And inside, it even has a built-in iGPU, the Broadcom Video Core 4, capable of outputting up to full HD over HDMI. Because of how little power it consumes, cooling is usually very simple. But honestly, I am a bit worried about heat over long periods of use. Now back to the DVD drive. Since I'm going to fit this mini PC inside, I need a plastic layer to isolate the electronics from the metal casing. No way I'm risking a short circuit. So I used some hot glue to hold everything in place and then pressed it down with the power module to make sure it's firmly secured. While that sets, I need to answer one important question. Does this tiny PC still work? It's been a long time since I last touched it. Honestly, this is definitely an interesting experience. For you, not for me. Because there's a big problem. I lost the original power adapter. Yeah, it's been years. The manual is gone too. So I had to improvise. I grabbed a micro USB cable, just a regular phone charger. And luckily, I had a power bank that matches the required output. So this might actually work. Since I don't have the manual, I had to jump on YouTube and find a guide. At this point, I'm basically just copying the guide step by step. No mistakes allowed. Now, normally you can install an OS using a USB like a regular PC, but I'm going with a safer method, something that has a much higher success rate. First, I remove the micro SD card from the device and plug it directly into my laptop. Any system works. Windows, Linux, doesn't matter. I won't bore you with the setup process, so let's skip ahead. Once the installation is done, you'll see the confirmation message on screen. And at that point, we're ready. Just take the card out and plug it back into the Raspberry Pi. Then I powered it on. And the best part? With this device, all I have to do is plug in the power and it boots automatically. And just like that, it loads into the operating system. Honestly, the setup process is surprisingly simple. The fact that it even runs at all after all this time, that already feels like half the job done. Now my next task is to secure it inside the DVD drive. The good news? There's actually a decent amount of space inside, so I decided to take it a step further. I added a power bank inside as well. That way this mini PC can run completely independently without needing to be plugged into the wall. But there's a problem. No matter how I position the board, I still have to cut into the case to access the ports. So I measured everything carefully and cut out just enough space for the HDMI port. I had to be extremely careful, not just to avoid cutting myself, but also to keep the cut clean and precise. And thankfully, it turned out really clean. Now comes the mounting solution. For the motherboard, I went with the simplest method I could think of, using a soldering iron to melt small holes into the plastic. Then I dropped in standoff screws, letting the melted plastic hold them in place as it hardened. And just like that, the board is securely mounted. As for the power bank, that part was way easier. Didn't take much time at all. At this point, I'm about 90% done. But there's still one thing that really bothers me. This system has no power button, which means every time I want to turn it on, I have to plug and unplug the power, and honestly, that's annoying. It feels messy and definitely not professional. So I decided to build my own power button, but it's not as simple as it sounds. The Raspberry Pi 3 doesn't come with a physical on/off button built in. Instead, I had to wire a push button directly to the board. One side to GPIO pin 5, the other side to GND pin 6. Here's the cool part. Even when the Pi is technically off but still connected to power, pressing this button will wake it up and boot the system. And yeah, it can also be used to shut it down. But there's a risk. If you just cut the power suddenly, you can corrupt the SD card and lose data. So to avoid that, I wrote a small Python script, like the one on screen, to handle a safe shutdown when the button is pressed. That way, the system powers off properly, instead of just dying instantly. Alright, everything's wired up. Let's test it and see if it actually works. So I pressed it while the system was running, and instantly, it pops up a menu, shutdown or restart. That's actually really cool. Instead of just cutting the power and risking data corruption, I can now shut it down properly. Safe, clean, and way more reliable. But what about when the system is off? I press the button again, and perfect. It boots up immediately. That's exactly what I wanted. Honestly, that little button completely changes the experience. It makes the whole system feel real, like an actual PC, not just a hacked-together project. Alright, final step. I mounted the power button on the front panel so it's easy to access. Then I closed everything up, and just like that, I've turned an old DVD drive into a fully functional mini PC. From the outside, it barely looks different, but inside, it's something completely new. Now it's time to enjoy the result. Let's see what this thing can actually do in the real world. For basic tasks, the system is fine. You get all the essentials, office tools, text editing, no problem at all. Even web browsing works, but yeah, it's a bit rough. Pages load slowly, scrolling isn't very smooth, and the overall responsiveness feels sluggish. Then I tried YouTube, and yeah, this is where things fall apart. Even at 240p, the video runs horribly, probably around 5 frames per second. It's not just bad, it's painful to watch. Honestly, it feels like I'm torturing my own eyes. At that point, I started to worry. Can this thing even handle games? I tried installing Minecraft, but no luck. It keeps throwing errors about missing libraries even after switching to a different operating system. So I went with something much lighter, Minetest. And even then, it struggles. We're talking about 4 frames per second. That's not just low, it's basically unplayable. So yeah, performance-wise, this old Raspberry Pi 3 Model B Plus just isn't enough anymore. If you're actually planning to use something like this, I'd strongly recommend going for a newer Pi model. They're not that expensive, and the performance difference is huge. But still, this project wasn't really about performance. It was about the idea, turning an old DVD drive into a working PC. And in that sense, I'd say it's a success. Plus, the best part? This thing can run for about 2 hours on a power bank, completely independent from wall power. And honestly, that's pretty cool. So what do you think about this build? Drop your thoughts in the comments.